And welcome to Crypto TV, where we dive headfirst into the wild world of blockchain, bringing you the hottest news, the biggest movers and shakers, and the most insightful analysis. I'm Adel, your host, joined by my co-host, Lisa Amnagard.
Hello, Adel. I'm really excited that we're doing this. It's going to be the start of a new weekly Crypto TV show that we'll be doing together, and I'm really excited. We'll be diving into the latest trends in crypto coins, as well as looking at new innovative business ideas in the Web3 space. But of course, we'll also be looking into AI and the regulatory changes shaping our industry. So I'm really excited, and I think we should dive straight into it. So Dal, tell me, what are the latest crypto coin updates on the market today?
Let's get right into it. So it's been quite a mixed week. The crypto market experienced some turmoil with some coins gaining value and others losing ground. Bitcoin, for example, was hovering around the 95K region, showing resilience despite recent volatility, but I'm still pretty happy that it's still around the 100K region. Ethereum followed the similar trend. It's traded sideways, consolidating its position around 3.2K. And some altcoins, now a mixed bag on this one, with some meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu seeing minor gains, while others like Solana and Cardano experienced slight declines. So quite a mixed week, I'll say.
It is a mixed week, but what do you think? Are people ruling out altcoins, or what do you think?
So in terms, actually no, altcoins are still here. Looking at the index on coin market cap, it's actually not yet altcoin season, still Bitcoin season. But I will say some new ones have topped the trending on the top 5. We've got one coin called Nurashi with the NEI is its mark, and Ontology, ONT. So I don't know. These two coins seem to be taking quite a trending momentum in the space. So it looks like it's growing.
So what can you tell us about these coins? Is there anything that our viewers should know?
Yes, I think it's worth noting that Nurashi is an innovative AI blockchain framework. It's combining the power of artificial intelligence with security and transparency of blockchain technology. So this is something different. And I think it's a proof of concept right now because it's still new, but it aims to address the limitations of the traditional AI systems like biases and lack of transparency. Because when you're using an AI model, you don't know where your data is going and who's behind that data. Yeah. And here, what Nurashi is trying to do is trying to say, this is where your data came from. This is the source. So you have that full visibility of what did I type in and what did I get back? And this is the full picture, as opposed to what I typed in and what I got back. I have no idea where I got this information from. That's what Nurashi aims to do.
And it seems people are liking it. They're buying it. So yeah.
According to the trend. Yeah.
And what about Ontology? What can you say about that?
Ontology is another coin that's trying to enhance trust, privacy, and security. So similar on the sense of transparency enhancing, but this one provides a decentralized identity. So like your passport, your ID. It's trying to provide like people who use your ID for multiple cases. What do they do with that data? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know if it's stored in a drawer or somewhere else, or is it stored in somewhere that they keep in their laptops? So Ontology has a good use case. Again, still new, still a proof of concept, but it seems like it's trying to address regulatory concerns, privacy, compliance, and I think it's trying to enhance another form of transparency about who are using your data.
Yeah, I think many people are considering that today when
I certainly am. I have no idea when I go to a doctor and they scan my things, what do they do with my data?
Yeah.
That's definitely a topic worth checking.
And if we look at just AI in general, we have been seeing the trend this year that, everyone's saying that more institutional investors are going to be investing in AI and also companies. So I saw recently on X, Sam Altman, which the founder of OpenAI, he made it look that the generative AI isn't as favorable of a business as people may have thought. He wrote, let me just read it out. He said, "Insane thing, we are currently losing money on OpenAI from pro subscriptions because people are using it more than we expected."
That's huge. I mean, look, when you have a business this big and you had no idea that you had this amount of people are using your brand, I think personally that's a branding stunt, publicity stunt. He's trying to say, yes, okay, we may be losing money on one side, but look at all these people using my product.
Yeah, but it's actually interesting when you look at it, because if you take, let's say, Netflix, where they have fixed costs. So if you just would think about a business, if the more people buying a subscription, the company would make money. But he's actually saying the opposite here. And currently the Pro subscription is at $200 a month.
A month.
A cost that Sam Altman decided himself, according to his post on X. But actually, when it comes to these AI models, it doesn't really follow a normal business model. It has it doesn't really have fixed costs. So I read that, for example, ChatGPT, which is one of their more simpler models. I mean, they have updates, but that costs around $700,000 a day to run. And then there's also operational expenses. And of course, also they have infrastructure that they need to store AI, to train the AI models. And because it uses data, this data costs money. So one question that you type into, let's say, O1, one of their most advanced models, that can cost up to $1,000. So if you're paying $200 a month and your questions are costing them much more than what you're paying, then of course it's going to fall into a deficit.
I think one take I have on this is that when they launched this product, they probably didn't emphasize or anticipate the amount of demand that would be using ChatGPT and the amount of reliance that people now use it. And for this reason, the amount of costs are going up far further than they had anticipated, because they didn't think this product would launch off this way.
Yeah.
And now they're facing the consequences that you just created a product that everybody wants to use. Everybody is using. Students, adults, teenagers, businesses at a scale, So now they're going to have to find ways to either lower their costs or they're going to have to charge the customer higher.
Yeah, and it depends whether the customer will pay more than $200
and will they be willing to pay that? And I think at this stage, question to you, Lisa, would you be willing to pay, let's say, $1,000 for a Pro subscription?
I don't know if I would pay $1,000. Would you pay $1,000?
Well, it depends. What's your business? Is your business reliant on all the data you collect from AI, generated by AI, in order to make income? If your income is higher than that, could it be worth it? I don't know.
But the thing is, the interesting part is that we're now also seeing other countries developing their own generative AI models that are cheaper. So, for example, in China, they have DeepSeek and also AI or O1.ai, and they're also creating similar chatbots such as O1 models that OpenAI has, but that can reason, so they can actually problem solve, but at much lower costs.
This is going to be a huge pricing war. So, I find this is going to be huge, because all these AI models are going to come out with their own product and say, we're this, we're cheaper, we're better, we're faster, we have more data. It's going to end up being a pricing war.
Yeah.
And for Sam Altman to compete, he's going to either have to lower his costs or find ways to make his product so much better, so much worth it, that it's worth the price increase.
Exactly, yeah. It needs to be the best, or otherwise you'll have countries such as China, who's now proven that you can actually make these same models, but cheaper. But also it opens the floodgates for other countries, such as India or Pakistan, or even the UAE, to also be involved in this space as well and be more competitive with OpenAI.
But even this, the third thing is that if AI models are easy to create, why even bother with other companies? Create your own.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be another market of its own, and it could be a marketplace of selling AI models.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I saw earlier today in the news that a company called Nova Sky, it's a team of researchers from the UC Berkeley Sky Computing Ltd in the US, and they released something called Sky T1 32B Preview. And it's actually a reasoning model that is competitive with OpenAI's O1.
Oh, wow.
But they were able to train it for less than $450.
Whoa.
So I think there is a really big market here that we will potentially see more of, I think, especially in 2025.
This is going to be, not only a pricing war, but the ability to create your own with less, how they say less is more. That's going to really change the game for all these competitors. So I can't wait to see. Maybe I'll create my own.
Yeah.
I don't want to rely on people using my data and my stuff.
Would you be reasoning with yourself?
Yeah, I guess. In the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah. Training yourself, learning. But I wanted to also ask you if you have any updates when it comes to blockchain institutional adoption. What can you tell us?
Absolutely. So I think the market right now in 2025, with already Trump, that's old news now, him being president, there's lots of marketplace, lots of companies and individuals who are embracing crypto. Let's begin with World Liberty Financial.
This is an interesting one.
This was an interesting one because it's launched by the Trump organization, by Trump himself and his sons.
Yes, family business.
It's a family-run business, right? They're bringing it back from the family of the Trump Tower to now family in the office. A decentralized platform designed to help people manage their finances better using crypto. So apparently this could be an alternative platform to manage traditional banking methods. The way that you send payments, the way that you get paid your salary. This could be a new way of doing that without a bank looking and overseeing how much does Lisa have in her account. You are your own bank, and you're able to transfer money peer-to-peer without somebody overseeing you. But a question that arises from this is, what happens, let's say, if you're scammed? Who do you contact? If it's that decentralized, is there customer support? Is there some kind of, what are your personal thoughts on this?
That is a really good question because usually, even in crypto, people are still exposed to scams, and there are scams in crypto as well.
100%.
So if there's no sort of entity or a body where you can turn to as a customer, then maybe people would be more afraid to use it in a way, because at the end of the day, we want our money to be safe. And
correct.
Although we want transparency, we still want to make sure that's safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
But it was interesting that World Liberty Financial token, it spiked today.
It spiked like crazy.
Yeah.
I saw it on the charts. It went like a huge, just one straight line spike. To me and to some others, that could be raising questions as to what's causing the spike. Is it being associated with Trump and his associates? Being, the fact that Trump is a very well established individual. He could probably just call people up on speed dial and say, hey, pump this coin, make America great again. Now, I'm not looking at it.
I also think that because he's taking office in just a week's time, people are probably very excited, especially people in the crypto community, because he has promised to do make some changes when it comes to the regulatory space, just to make it easier for crypto companies to operate and do business in the US, which has been quite ambiguous in the past. For some people, it's gone well, whereas for others, not so much. So I think maybe there's just some optimism again. There was optimism when Trump won, but now that he's going to be taking office very, very soon, could be some more added optimism. And they're buying the token maybe. Yeah,
well, time will tell on what that does. I'm not investing in the token, I'll be absolutely honest here. I'm only here talking about the technology, what they designed, what they're designing to do to make people like us manage our finances better, so only time will tell.
Yeah. But when it comes to managing finances, I did see something interesting in the news, and this is actually kind of exciting for people in the MENA region, especially in the UAE and also in Kazakhstan. So Mastercard, they announced that they will be making cryptocurrencies easier for people to send and receive through a new solution that they're calling the crypto credential solution. And this means that Mastercard, they're partnering up with crypto exchanges. They aim to simplify blockchain transactions for users here in the region. It will also be more transparent for the users, so it will verify transactions among consumers and businesses using blockchain networks, and it will make sure that it's met a certain set of verification standards, and it will confirm the recipient's wallet supports the transferred asset. So this is also a big update for people in the UAE.
I think there's a following trend here between World Liberty Financial, Mastercard, and even another news that came out, JP Morgan Chase announcing plans to launch a blockchain-based payment system. It's all to do with payment system, cross-border transactions. There's a trend here that this is the new, like they're really accepting and embracing crypto as real money.
Yeah.
Because the ability to send money at a very low cost compared to our current system, our archaic system of sending money with so many checks. And even as well, there's some transaction fees that are quite high still here compared to crypto, almost zero.
Yeah.
And the ability to manage your own finances, that's really the next trend here. It's already the trend that you want to have full control of your money.
Yeah.
Why hasn't this happened before? Why is it taking this long?
I think 2025 is the year.
I think so too.
It's been, there's been a lot of talk about it, but I think now all the solutions are coming to the table. And you have, like you said, Chase, Mastercard.
JP Morgan Chase on this side is more of a B2B side. They're in a groundbreaking move. They're using XRP, another crypto-based currency, as the payment option for retail transactions, including credit card and also mortgage payments. So you can pay back your mortgage in XRP. You can obtain a loan in XRP, and it's backed, I'm guessing, against the US dollar. They're using XRP. They're partnering up with XRP, and I know XRP well. I've invested in them myself. So it looks like they're, blockchain-based payment system seems to be a very important trend. It doesn't look like it's going to be declining anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either. And when it comes to any laws and regulation updates, is there anything you want to mention?
Yes, we need to talk about law and regulation in any capacity, because without law, nothing goes through in this system. Yeah. So, U.S. news on the Security Exchange Commission, the SEC, the regulatory body of the USA. There's been some, I'll say they are trying to still figure out digital assets. Still a key major issue is defining digital assets into existing categories. There's many digital assets. There needs to be categories for each of them to serve a purpose. Bitcoin, for example, altcoins, two different ones. And then this XRP, which I just mentioned, that's used for banking. They need to outline this more. And I think that the confusion leaves businesses in limbo. That's why they need, at the moment, SEC is right now in a tug-of-war situation between itself and the CFTC, which is another body in the US. Who's going to regulate what? There's another body called the CFTC, and that still needs to be managed.
Yeah.
So we're still awaiting confirmation from the Trump organization on how this is going to be managed correctly.
Yeah, I think we will have more clarity once Trump takes office and they have the new SEC chair as well.
Correct, because at the same time, if these jurisdictional inconsistencies are not managed, then lawsuits happen, and when lawsuits do happen, then how do we address these lawsuits from companies?
Yeah, but if we look at Europe, more specifically the EU, they have just put into effect their Markets in Crypto Assets Regulations Act, which came into effect on the 30th of December 2024. So we're starting the year and it's in effect. So what can you tell us about that?
See, in contrast to that, the EU is expected to bring greater regulatory clarity because it's already come into effect. And they've been talking about this for already a while, over 5 years now. The main aim of this is to create a unified legal framework for all crypto assets across the European Union, across the 27 states. So that means that one set of rules for all EU countries. If you are in the EU, you will follow the MiCA Unified Legal Framework. That is the way it is. So that's the rule. If any lawsuits come in, they will base it against what MiCA says. So there's a source of how to deal with jurisdictional claims or legal cases in place. And this is aiming to make compliance much, much cheaper, easier, and it strengthens investor protections and promotes a more stable and trustworthy crypto market. Let's see, only time will tell.
And this is huge because the EU is such a big market. So it just allows more companies from, let's say, outside the EU, as well as companies in the EU, to just have more clarity around what they can do when they're operating in the EU. So I think this is great. And the whole point about the MiCA regulation is to create more transparency and as well as security in the crypto market, which I think is really important. It just provides more clarity for companies in the crypto space when operating in the EU, and they just know what is allowed, and there's an act that regulates it. So I think that this is really exciting, and we'll see just how business will flow in 2025.
100%. I can't wait. And yeah, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Adel, the host.
And I'm Lisa Amnagard, and you're watching Crypto TV.
See you next time.
Web3.tv